You're told inflation is 2 to 3% and under control. That's the official story. But look at your rent, your groceries, insurance, education. None of that is rising 2% a year. The brutal truth is this: the real warning sign isn't the CPI number, it's government behavior once the debt becomes unpayable in honest money. Weimar Germany told its citizens the same lie. It's temporary, it's manageable. Months later, the currency was dead. I'm going to walk you through the Weimar Playbook step by step, and then show you where the US sits on that same timeline right now. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. We're already in the final stage. It just doesn't look like wheelbarrows of cash yet. To see it clearly, you have to start with the debt trap. Look, this isn't about left or right. It's not even really about policy choices anymore. When a currency system is dying, it runs a 3-stage script. Weimar ran it, other failed empires ran it, and the US is running it now. Stage 1 is the debt trap. Stage 2 is the printing solution. Stage 3 is the velocity spike. Once you understand these three, you can see exactly how close we are to the breaking point. Stage 1, the debt trap. Weimar first. After World War I, Germany owed impossible reparations in foreign currency, on top of domestic deficits. The productive base of the country was damaged, tax receipts were weak, and yet payments in gold or foreign exchange had to be made. So what did the government do? It borrowed. It rolled short-term debt. It made promises it could only keep if growth exploded. That never happened. Interest costs started eating the budget. Here's the key. There's a point of no return where the interest bill on past promises crowds out everything else. You can raise taxes. You can cut some spending. But once the debt stock is big enough, the math wins. Think of a household that owes so much on credit cards that it has to open a new card just to pay the monthly interest on the old ones. That's not a lifestyle problem anymore. That's a structural death spiral. Sooner or later, one bank refuses to roll the debt, and the whole thing blows up. Weimar crossed that line. The US has crossed it too. Today, the US rolls over old debt with new at higher interest rates. Interest on the federal debt is compounding, eating a bigger share of tax revenue each year. And every time there's a slowdown or a crisis, the answer is the same: more borrowing on top of an already unpayable pile. Once you're in this trap, there are only bad options left. Which takes us to stage 2, the printing solution. Weimar's politicians had 3 paths: default on their obligations, impose brutal austerity on their own population, or quietly destroy the currency. They chose the third. They ran the presses. At first, it seemed clever. Fund deficits with newly created marks. Make reparations payments by converting printed currency into foreign exchange as long as someone would still take it. Money supply growth went from steady to vertical. Wages and prices chased each other higher. Everyone focuses on the paper printing, the literal notes. But the essence was simple. They created claims on real goods and services far faster than the economy could produce those goods and services. The modern version looks cleaner, but it's the same trick. We call it quantitative easing. We call it liquidity programs. The Treasury issues more debt. The central bank and the financial system absorb it by creating new bank reserves, new deposits, new leverage. Printing today is just adding zeros in the banking system instead of on paper. The effect is identical: more currency units chasing the same or fewer real assets. Why do they choose this? Because default is politically suicidal. Austerity is politically suicidal. Inflation is the one path where they can lie about what they're doing and blame greedy corporations or supply shocks, while quietly transferring your savings to the state and its creditors. Look at the pattern since 2008. Every crisis gets the same response: lower rates, bigger deficits, larger central bank balance sheets, more backstops, more guarantees. The system survives another year, but only by doubling down on the same poison. And you, your salary, your bank account, become the shock absorber. Your dollars buy less so that their debt can be rolled one more time. That leads to stage 3, the velocity spike. This is the final stage we're entering. Velocity is simple. It's how fast people try to get rid of their money. In normal times, you're happy to hold cash for a while. You get paid, you save, you plan. Money changes hands at a moderate pace. In Weimar, the early years of printing didn't look like hyperinflation. People still trusted the mark. They complained about rising prices, but they believed it would settle down. Then, almost out of nowhere, something snapped. Workers demanded to be paid twice a day. Wives waited outside factory gates to grab the cash and run to the shops before prices rose again that afternoon. Businesses stopped quoting long-term prices. People dumped marks for anything real: coal, bread, foreign currency, farmland, art. Here's the crucial point. Hyperinflation isn't just about how much they print. It's printing plus a loss of faith. Once the public understands that the currency itself is the problem, not greedy sellers, velocity explodes. The same stock of money races through the system faster and faster, and prices go vertical. Early signs of this are already visible in the US. People are shifting from cash to hard assets. They're front-loading purchases because they expect everything to be more expensive next year. There's rising distrust of banks, of government promises, of long-term contracts denominated in dollars. A small change in confidence can have a huge impact. If, instead of holding dollars for 6 months, people try to hold them for 6 weeks or 6 days, the effective pressure on prices jumps even without a single new dollar being printed. The final stage isn't about the central bank anymore. It's about you and millions like you deciding the dollar is a melting ice cube. Tie this to the next few years. The US faces a huge debt rollover schedule, rising interest costs, and total political paralysis. The math is the math. At some point in this narrow window, confidence breaks. I can't give you the exact day, but the sequence is locked in. So what does this mean for you, sitting on dollars and digital IOUs? The key takeaway is simple. We're past the phase where the system can be fixed. The only question left is how fast confidence breaks. Share this so your family understands the playbook. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to keep covering the next moves in this crisis. And tell me in the comments, what percentage of your net worth is still in pure cash and bank deposits?